Welcome to the Psychotherapy Central podcast, where we discuss love, attachment, and healing from trauma. A place where you can gain the knowledge, tools, and wisdom to help you build secure, flourishing relationships. I'm your host, clinical psychotherapist and couples therapist, Jennifer Nurick. Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Psychotherapy Central. So I was reading through the Apple reviews the other day. That's something that I do occasionally just to see what's going on, what the feedback is like, and honestly, they are such a joy to read. So I thought I'd just read one out, and this is the one that I chose. It says, "I really enjoyed the episode on IFS. I really loved how you explained something so clearly and made it very easy to understand. It's something that I've always felt, i.e. the parts, but could never put into words. And you've explained it really well. Thank you." So if this is your review, please email us here at hello@psychotherapycentral.health and we'll give you free access to one of my courses. So if you enjoy the show, please leave a review and you might just be next. So today's topic: why do I always feel this desperate need to fix things immediately after an argument? So this is something that comes up in my comments section in Instagram, online, all the time. I find people are really noticing this. So let me just kind of dig into that feeling a bit more. So you've had this conflict. Your heart's racing, your mind is spinning. Often there's 100 thoughts going through your head, rapid fire. You can't stop thinking about what was said or not said. You keep going over it, and you're flooded with this intense urgency to keep talking, to fix it, to make it right. So imagine that you're having this disagreement with your partner. Maybe it started as something small, like who forgot to take out the trash, or why someone was late getting home. And voices rise a little, frustration builds, and before you know it, you're both standing there and you're feeling hurt and disconnected. And maybe your partner sighs and says, "I can't do this right now, I need a break." And they turn and walk into the other room, leaving you standing there, your heart pounding, nauseous feeling in your stomach. And the silence feels unbearable. It's like a wall has dropped down between you. And the only way to feel safe again is to tear that wall down immediately. And maybe you follow them. "No, we need to talk about this right now. I can't just leave it like this." Maybe you raise your voice. Maybe you try to explain your side one more time, hoping that they'll understand and that the tension will dissipate. But what happens is they pull away further. They feel overwhelmed and they need space. Now later, when you've had some time to cool down, you wonder, why couldn't I just let that go? Why did it feel so life or death to resolve it right then? If you're listening to me and you're thinking, "Oh my goodness, Jen, are you a fly on my wall? Are you living inside my house?" Know that I know this so well because I hear it so often. Yeah, this is part of that anxious avoidant dynamic that I work with so much. So know that you're not alone. Yeah, it's something I see daily with my clients, and truthfully, it's something that I've experienced myself. It's kind of like, I describe it like being caught in a riptide. And the harder you fight to get back to shore, you can see it and you're fighting to get back, but you just become more exhausted and panicked as you try. So today we're going to unpack why this happens biologically, psychologically, and emotionally. But more importantly, and of more interest to most of you, I'll be sharing some practical strategies to calm that inner alarm system and respond in a way that supports both you and your relationship. So take a deep breath and let's dive in. So why does this happen? Why does your body feel like it's in crisis after an argument? So a big part of this story is your nervous system. After a conflict, your body shifts into fight or flight mode. In therapy speak, we call it hyperarousal. It's a survival response designed to keep you safe. It's the same biological reaction you'd have if you were being chased by a tiger 1,000 years ago. But here's the thing. Your body doesn't know the difference between a tiger and a tense conversation with your partner because both feel like danger. And your system reacts accordingly. So let's break down what happens inside you. So number one, adrenaline. This is your body's go impulse. It increases your heart rate, speeds up your breathing, sends blood to your muscles so you can run or fight. And it's why you feel that panicky sensation in your chest and why it's very difficult to sit still. Then we have cortisol, a stress hormone that keeps you on high alert. And it's like an internal alarm saying, something's wrong, stay vigilant, something's wrong, stay vigilant, something's wrong, something's wrong. It sharpens your focus, but also makes it hard to think clearly or relax. Glutamate. Glutamate is a neurotransmitter that speeds up brain activity, which is why your mind races with 100 thoughts all at once. You're not just thinking about the argument, you're thinking about every argument you've ever had, every worst case scenario, and what this might mean for your relationship. Next is the endorphins. Now, endorphins are a natural painkiller, and they get released to numb physical pain. And that's so you can run through the jungle away from the tiger and not have to stop because you've stood on a thorn. It dulls the physical pain so that you can keep moving to get away from the tiger. It can also dull your emotional sensitivity, which means you might struggle to empathize with your partner, to read their cues that they're getting overwhelmed, that they need space in the heat of the moment. Something else that happens is that GABA is lowered. So normally GABA acts like a brake for your brain, which calms things down. But during fight or flight, GABA drops, making it nearly impossible to relax. So you can hear that there is a lot going on internally, biologically, that happens when we neurocept. That's a term that means when we sense danger. And like I said, not necessarily the danger that we can run away from or fight our way out of, but an emotional danger, a disconnection. The same alarm signals will go off. So imagine you're driving a car and suddenly someone swerves into your lane. And you slam on the brakes, your heart is pounding, your hands are gripping the wheel, your breath is shallow. And even after you're safe, your body takes time to calm down. It doesn't happen immediately. You might still find yourself taking a few breaths for a good minute or 2 minutes after that. That was really scary, but I'm okay, I'm safe now. So that's exactly what's happening after an argument. Your nervous system is still flooring the gas pedal, even though the immediate danger has passed. So when your partner says, let's take a break and talk later, it feels almost intolerable. Your body is screaming, no, if we don't fix this now, something terrible will happen. Yeah, alarm is still going off inside. Now let's talk about the psychological side of things. That overwhelming urge to fix, it's often driven by attachment wounds and core beliefs from earlier in life. So if you grew up in an environment where emotional connection was inconsistent, where love was sometimes available and sometimes not, then disconnection in adulthood can feel like abandonment. When your person leaves the room, it can feel like I'm being left outside of school again. I'm waiting for my dad to come and pick me up by the door again, and he doesn't come. Yeah, it can trigger childhood memories. So for many of us, our brain learned that distance equals danger. Think of it like this. Your inner alarm system is looking through your history files to figure out how to respond. And if past experiences taught you that unresolved conflict leads to rejection, loneliness, or even punishment, your amazing system, your protective system, will do whatever it takes to avoid that outcome. Because the memory of it is so painful, the protective system will just do whatever it needs to stop that happening again. Now, this is why you might find yourself pushing, chasing, or even getting angry, because underneath that reaction is a younger part of you that's terrified of being left alone. So here's something that's really important to understand. When your reaction feels too loud for the situation, you've time traveled. A younger part of you, the part that once feared abandonment, that experienced abandonment, is now driving the bus. This part doesn't know that you're an adult, that you're safe and capable of handling the situation. It's like being 6 years old again and standing in the kitchen after an argument between your parents, wondering if your whole world is about to fall apart. When you recognize that your current distress is being amplified by an old wound, an old experience, old core beliefs, and when I talk about core beliefs, I'm talking about repeated experiences that have become an imprint, things that we've absorbed into our being as this is actually just how life is. Yeah. So when you recognize that your current experience, the distress, is being amplified by those old core beliefs and wounds, it becomes easier to step back, to soothe that younger part, and to respond from what you might call a more adult self or a more heart-centered place. It's something I talk a lot about in my courses. If you can't do that and keep pushing to fix the argument, you're likely to push your partner away. They might say things like, "You're overreacting, can you just drop it? I need space." And while these responses can feel dismissive, they often come from your partner's own protective system, trying to get some space to calm down too. And ironically, the more you chase connection, the more your partner might retreat, especially if they lean avoidant. And this creates what's called a pursuer-withdrawer cycle, where the pursuer is the anxious and the withdrawer is the avoidant, which can be exhausting for both of you. Some of you listening to this will absolutely recognize the cycle that I'm talking about, and I'm talking to you, the people who think, "Oh, this is me." The avoidant partner retreats to find calm, while the anxiously attached person pursues to find connection. What's important to understand here is that both are trying to feel safe, but their strategies clash. Recognizing this dynamic is the first step towards breaking the cycle. And it's the first step in my cycle breakers circle, that is discovery. What can you do when you feel hijacked by the urge to fix things right now? So here are 6 practical strategies to calm your nervous system and reconnect with that more adult, loving self. Number 1 is deep belly breathing. You can inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. This slows your heart rate, lowers cortisol, and signals safety to your brain, and it's also a vagus nerve hack. And an example I use a lot with this one is whenever we suddenly find out that we're safe. So the example when you're driving and I've almost had an accident, but then I'm safe and I think, "Oh, thank goodness I'm safe." And then I inhale Oh, I'm okay. Yep, so this long exhale anchors safety in the body. Number 2 is a grounding exercise. So there's this a very common exercise that's called the 5-4-3-2-1 method. You look around for 5 things you can see. You might choose 5 blue things. 4 things you can touch. 3 things you can hear. 2 things you can smell. And 1 thing you can taste. Why you do this is because it anchors you in the present moment and pulls you out of that time travel. Number 3, gentle movement. Maybe it's a walk around the block, a stretch, some light yoga. This helps your body to metabolize excess adrenaline. It helps your body to sort of move that impulse to fight or run. So some kind of gentle movement. Could even be some slow dancing or just tuning into your body and letting it move. 4, self-soothing touch. One that I find really soothing is one hand on the heart, one hand on your belly. And this can help to produce oxytocin, kind of a safety hormone. I find there's something really soothing about that, especially over the heart center. Something safe that creates a feeling of safety in my body by holding my belly. So again, with all self-touch, just experimenting what feels right for you. Number 5, mindful rest. Sitting quietly, closing your eyes, focusing on slow, steady breathing. And number 6, I've left one of the best for last. This is one of my favorites. Cross your arms across your chest. So the fingertips are just above your armpits. And you do a right-left tap on your chest. So you tap your hands left, right, left, right, left, right. It's a bilateral stimulation. Helps to calm the nervous system and bring you back to center. With all of these regulation techniques, it's a matter of what works for you. So I invite you to experiment with them. Some of them will just work for you. Some of them will work sometimes and not other times. And so that's why I often talk about having a toolkit, having a number of things that you can pull out of your bag and, okay, let's try this. Okay, let's try that and see what works that day for your nervous system at that time. But we tend to have ones that we favor, and I do find that for a lot of people, that number 6, the butterfly tapping, is a great one. Now that you're calmer, you can ask yourself, what part of me got activated just then? What was this part afraid of? And what did it need in that moment? You might imagine that you're sitting beside that younger part of you, kind of like an adult comforting a child. And you might say, I see you. I know you're scared, but I've got this now. We're safe and we can handle this together. I'm right here with you. I'm not going anywhere. Now, this kind of inner dialogue creates what I call internal secure attachment. It's a sense of safety that doesn't rely solely on external reassurance. When we have that internal secure attachment, it is a game changer. And in my work, I do not teach that you have to have full internal secure attachment before you can have external secure attachments. You can absolutely be growing them at the same time. But as we start to grow that sense of internal secure attachment, you will find that secure attachment externally starts to feel more natural. There's more of a felt sense of what it needs to feel like. Now, because the inner child work is so helpful, I created a short course called Meet Your Inner Child. It's a self-paced course where you meet your inner child, you learn how to parent them, and maintain that connection with them. You get a 30-page workbook, 2 hours of instructional videos, and some stories from me that I think will make you laugh. And there's 3 downloadable practices that come with it. So if you're curious about that, head over to psychotherapycentral.health or follow the link in the show notes. Remember, the urge to fix things immediately after an argument isn't a flaw, it's a protective response rooted in old survival strategies. By calming your nervous system, getting curious about your younger parts, and practicing self-compassion, you can absolutely break the cycle and build healthier, more secure relationships. So if you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to leave a review. You might just win access to one of my courses. So take care, thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me on this episode. If you want to learn more about all things love, attachment, and trauma, I'd love to connect with you on Instagram at psychotherapy.central or visit my website at psychotherapycentral.health. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave a review and a 5-star rating. Your support means a lot, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.